morning, factory workers. Good morning, llama. Did you sleep good? I'm sorry, I got my light on in your face. Okay. We need a cup of coffee. Let's go over to the cabinet, grab our coffee cup. There we go. Let's fill this bad boy up. Oh, there we go. That's what we need. Nice cup of coffee. Excellent. Let's go check out our view. Out on the porch. Oh, we have a blueprint maker here now. Yeah, I added that. I think. I don't remember if I had that last episode or if I did that offline. But let's just go live out on the edge. Oh. That looks like that might be a power slug there. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a yellow power slug under there. I see the streaks. Okay. Well, last time we were working on Foundation City, and we got pretty far. I said I was gonna see if I couldn't finish it offline. I didn't. Um, I did, however. What did I do? I got more of it done. Upgrade depots. I don't know if we need to upgrade depots. Let's see where we're at with our depots. Yeah, could. I think I've got 7 spheres available. I have 8, so yeah, we'll upgrade that. We just need to see if we have any fluctuators available. Because I'm not producing high volumes of these things yet, so let's see, we need 103. We have 73. Do we have any in storage? Oh, we got plenty. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's upgrade our depots before we head over to Foundation City and see where we're at with that. I actually may have gotten to the point where I wanted to wait for you guys to be able to say that we have it. Because I think I am ready to start the... Oops, I forgot to grab my spheres. I think I'm ready to start the output station on that. Alien tech, go ahead and upgrade that. I think this will be enough for us for a while. I think that won't be too bad. 60 per minute. It's only going to be a problem on bigger things, but
dimensional upload speed increased.
yeah. I don't want to hear you, Ada. It's too early in the morning. I did get our power converter or power augmenter unlocked and our production multi-amplifier thingy unlocked as well. So we do have those things unlocked and ready to rock. What else? I wanted... Anything else need to go back into the depot? These fluctuators need to go back in. Yeah, that upload speed's a little bit better. I think we'll be okay there. I'm going to take that off the list for now. And we're still working on Foundation City, so that works. Okay. I think we've done everything. A little sip of coffee here. Alright. let's go see about Foundation City. And there it is. Let's see. Concrete, iron plates, iron rods, screws. Oh, we gotta finish out our... Oh, that's why I stopped. Okay. We need to do assemblers. So we need to set up our assembler blueprint for reinforced plates. Let's go ahead and build out this floor real quick. Because we can get... We're going to have multiple... This is actually going to be our tallest building in the city right now. Cities, and we want our floor. I'm going to set that to this one. And what I should have done is change... I think we're going to modify... Well, after this city, we're going to be done with this design, but if we need to expand... Like, I didn't make these concrete styles. I didn't finish the styling on this blueprint, and so it's causing more work, right? Because I've been changing the material to concrete for these to match the style. If I do this on the blueprint, then I don't have to go back and repaint these things, right? Because we want that kind of style to it. These I want to be asphalt. Because these are streets. And I think something I want to do, and I have to see, I haven't played with these in a while, but if we do patterns, well, that's not going to work. Oh, that works. Get a nice kind of like, oops. Oh, that's unfortunate. Huh. Can we rotate patterns? Yes. Okay, good. There we go. That's cool. We'll just do a little bit of this. Now it's kind of looking more like a city. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Then we can head back to our... Oops. Oopsie. Head back over to base where our blueprint maker is. And we need to make our assembly blueprint. And we can adjust that floor blueprint and foundation blueprint to be concrete. And the way we do that, we come over to our blueprint maker and we load a blueprint. Gonna load our foundation one. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, I guess we need to add some things here. Interesting. Do I have enough to make one? No. Wasn't expecting that. Alright. Well, we're gonna hit our other blueprint maker then, which is right there. Oh, we're way high for that. Um, there we go. Alright, we'll try again. And put kind of our external thing on this, so maybe we'll build our assembler here too. Just for consistency. Alright, our load blueprint cities. So we want our foundations loaded. Excellent. And we want to just change our material on this to be concrete. Like that. Come back down. And save blueprint. There we go. Now that blueprint's set, we want to clear, load, bring up our next one. Do the same thing. Like so. Save that, firm, and then we're going to clear, and now we're going to start working on our assembly, our assemblers. And as you can see, what I've done is I laid out our kind of our floor design around the outside, so this is kind of our internal working area for a floor. When our Mark II designer is actually 5 wide, so it's 1 plate wider, and then the Mark III is 6, so we'd be able to fit a full floor onto our designer once we unlock that, but that's going to be a little while. For now, we'll do it in a couple pieces. So let's see. Let me see what we're going to do with assemblers. I have no idea what my design will be for this. We can't really... See, I can't nudge it. I could half nudge it that way. I don't know if that's going to give us enough room to actually do what we want to do. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know if I can squeeze a merger in between there. I might have to take a page out of Brian's book. Speaking of which, I should probably jump into Discord and see if he is around. Let's see. Well, Mr. Roku is. He's been on for a little bit. Jump down in there and see if our stream stats decline. So I am watching. I have changed some of the streams, so hopefully the stream's a little bit more stable for you. I realized last night when I was trying to do something that some of my stream stats were not really good. So hopefully the quality's a little better for you. All right, let's see what we have. I don't think that's gonna work. That's too much overlap. I don't think those are gonna connect. All right, so we need to come up with a different plan for these. Now, which most likely means we are going to do as many as we can fit. These take up 1, so I should be able to fit 4. But see, it says it overlaps, and it does. Now, if we go up, I mean, technically it's not really overlapping. It's just kind of overlapping. Let's go to our other designer for this, because I think we can fit 4 on there, and that will fit on our 6x6 floor without a problem. So right now my stats aren't looking too bad. My encoding lag is under control at the moment. The encoding lag. I gotta remember what encoding lag is. I think that's my GPU is not able to keep up. Or is that rendering lag? Oh, that might be CPU on the encoding lag. Really? My CPU? Hang on, let me check that real quick. Because I just looked all this stuff up. Encoding. Huh. Yeah, my CPU is falling behind on that. That's... interesting. I'll have to see about tweaking that. Okay. So on our bigger designer, we have 5 panels across instead of 4. And which means that really what we're doing, and I don't know if this will work. I kind of want to see. Will it let me put? No. I was gonna say if I can put. Oh, but I could put halves. Hold on here. If I do half foundations on the outside and nudge them up against the floor, yes, this is what we want to do. And we want to zoop that all the way out. No, because it's only going to be a half on the outside. And then rotate that. And nudge that into place. Well, that's interesting. Why is that not lining up? Why is that off? That doesn't make any sense. Did I not get close enough? It's because I'm up too high. It looks like I'm up. Oh, I think we screwed up here. Hold on a second. Let's grab one of these. Oh, I'm on a 2 meter. I want a 1 meter. That's why. There we go. Oh, if we lock that in. Oh, we weren't quite over far enough. That's what it was. We wanted to be inside there. Ah. Why no power? That's going to be annoying. We're going to have to run some power out. Carefully delete these. Less carefully delete these. Grab more of those. Turn and burn. And we're up too high. Bring that down. And over. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. Don't think I can grab the inside of that, so I'm going to have to nudge this into place too. Seriously? Okay. Okay, fine. And then the back one. Oops, we don't need that one. Oops. There we go. We nudge it from here. Ooh, we're not quite where we need to be there. Oh, no, okay, that's right. Alright. And then these posts are actually where our pillars are going to be, so if we just avoid the posts... I mean, really, we could have just used the outside of the the blueprint maker here. Okay, power. Where do I have power going to? I still only have power underneath. That's part of the problem. And I don't know if that thing actually needs power, but we're going to bring up a power pole to the corner. Because we have to power our lab. Yeah, I don't see a connection, so it doesn't require power. I think if we just bring one to the corner, I think that'll give us enough space to fly around here without a power. Oh, yeah, we're good. Okay, good. Alright, all that is set. Now we have, this is basically our floor. So yeah, that Mark 6 will come right out to the edge in our gray field. We'll be able to fit the whole floor onto one. But we need several. We need to get past our peak efficiency that will unlock our items that we need for the blueprint maker. So if we take a look at that here, but if we look at the milestones, this peak efficiency gets us our conveyors. Now we could go right for this. I don't think we can make these. I think that's quantum encoding. Yes. So we would have to do that first. We could do that. We're still not making these items here. I don't think it's worth diverging from our plan just yet. At some point it will be. we'll switch gears and move to our alien tech city and build that one out just so that we can finish up some of these tiers. Alright, assemblers. Now, we can't go right to the edge. Let's figure out. I'm curious if we, now that we have the extra space, we start from the center, like that. I think we're only going to get 3 if we do it that way. Yeah, because that fourth one won't fit on either side. So we need to shift, and we're going to line up the edge with the center instead of the middle. Kind of like we did with the smelters, if you remember the smelter setup. So if we come in, we want our outputs to be in the center. Pretty well. We can even come in a little bit, maybe nudge this in to there to give us some room. Let's put one there. Let's see how much room we need for our merger in the middle. I think this actually is going to be a good setup. Yeah, I think that's a good distance. Yep, I like that. That'll work. Okay, and we have that. Now we can start. We do need to nudge it over so that we're centered. Looks like we need to nudge over like one cube. I don't know if we'll be able to split that or not. That kind of sucks. We'll keep that there for reference. So we want to, so if we're centered, we want to split. What does one nudge over give us? That's a full cube. We want a half cube. Yep, so that's going to be a half nudge. And then we want to come this way. Yes. Alright, so this is going to be another one of these where the belts aren't going to line up perfect for us. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. But now you can see we're centered that way. We should be able to get 4 in on each side. And I don't, we may have to put, the question is, are we going to have room for our logistics for feeding? Let's see, and we want, how far in did we come? We came into the first hash mark. And that's our lineup there. Let's lock that there. Come into that point. Did we line up? Nope. Nope. That's not right. Should have checked it before I clicked it. Okay, we're going to take him out for the time being. And we'll lock in on that. Yeah. That's lined up that way. And that's the right spot there. That looks good. Grab that one. Then we can just pop one in on either side. There we go. We got 8 assemblers on a floor. Wow. I didn't think we were going to get that many on there. Okay. Now, for our merger, let's have it go away from us, and so we'll feed it in, well, let's have the feed in front of us, so we want it going that way. Then we're going to have to nudge that forward, a half nudge, do that, and then we're going to have to do that 2 more times. Lock it in, half nudge it forward, and again. Oh, this one we need to half nudge back because it slipped out on us. Okay. And that was a full nudge. There we go. Alright. And that should be that. And we should be able to belt all that together. Ta-da! Okay. So our machines and that are done. Now we need to figure out our logistics. Well, if we want this load balanced, this is going to be a 2 and 2 load balance fed from this. So a 2 to 2 to 2 load balance. Because we're gonna actually 2 to 2 to 2 load balance. That will give us the 8. Because it's an even number. Means we're evenly splitting. Yeah. Okay. That means a little bit of craziness. I think what we're going to do for this load balance, and we've got to do it twice. I think we're going to do a center feed and an end feed. This might be completely crazy. We really want to try and get this load balanced. Trying to think. If we do inside outsides, will this work? I think, I really don't know. I'm like designing on the fly here, so bear with me. I have no idea how we're going to feed this. I think assuming we can do this, maybe. I think what we might do is, I think we're going to have to play with this on an actual floor and then see how much we can blueprint. So I think we save it here. I do need to see if it's going to let us put in beam here. And my beam doesn't have to be in exactly the right spot. It does have to be centered though. And I don't, yeah, that's centered. Okay. And that goes up. Oh, what the heck? How is that overlapping the blueprint designer when I go up? That's silly. Alright, hang on. Oh, then that means I'm probably not going to be able to go across either. junk. I don't remember how high we're going. I think it was 10. But it's not going to let me do that. Oh, that's a bummer. And that's going to be... Because I want it needs to go right on that edge. Because that's going to be the halfway on that plate. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get power routed on this blueprint either. That's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Let's see, this is load balance, assembler, oh wait, assembler, it says 8, load balanced. I don't know if that's the right name. Nope, LB. Cancel. LB. Assembler. 8. Set our directory to cities. Now 8, now we could make our life simpler. Make this a 6 instead of an 8. And that matches our constructor floor. That might actually be better. We're going to go ahead and keep the 8 for now, but then we're going to, before we head back over, we're going to make a 6. Because that does match our our constructor floor, which is probably better, because then if we have 2 floors for the 2 inputs, each floor can then feed in one side of the load balance. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Before I wasted all that time. No. We'll set that. We have it if we want to play with it. And then going to clear the designer and start from 0 again. Alright. Gosh, I wonder how much stuff is in our other designer. With the 5 planes, we could start from the center here. Or we could go down to our 4, because I know we can fit 3 on our 4 designer. We could actually... I think what we want to do... I'm going to do this now just because I can. Oh, but I have it so nicely. Okay. That'll be an off-screen task. I need to... Oops. I overshot a little bit here. There we go. My notes. I need to move the Mark 1 EP designer to new base. So that we have both our designers there. I don't want to move it now because I have these other things set here. Okay. We are... Oh, shoot. I forgot. We need the bigger one because of the side to side. Darn it. More back and forth. I do like the way our city's turning out. I think it's looking pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna fall short because I hit the ground before, so I can't boost myself further. So we gotta fly a little bit. Alright. Before we start this, man, take another sip. Breathe. Okay. Assembler. Assembler, I don't even know her. We go here, here, and here. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. Everything lines up nice on a click. Here, here, and here. Then we want output to go here, here, here. Except we don't want splitters there. That's just the wrong thing, isn't it? Ooh. Definitely needing the coffee today. Alright, that is back to where we were with the 8, now with the 6. Now this is a lot easier for us to feed. The question becomes, I think what we're going to do, and we'll see how this plays out. Point that one. No, we're going to keep those in line. So when we do our splitters, see, I think I actually would prefer my splitters to be out, not on. So I had it out here. I won't I don't know, maybe I won't interfere with these. I'm just wondering about clipping, so I'm going to throw that one in and see if we clip. We're going to feed this in this way. This one will come that way, and this one will come that way. And if we belt that across, see, we clip through that. That's what I want to avoid, is this clipping right here. See, that doesn't look good. No, if we're wanting to be compact, we could allow it for simplicity, but you know, we're spending all this time doing some cool cities. We should be better than that, right? I think so. Let's line this up. And lock that in, and then bring it up. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get a good line up there. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's unlock that and let's do this instead. I want to pull. It's not snapping to where I want it to snap. That should be a good snap for us. I'm gonna lock it in there. Then I should be able to perfectly, yep, and then come back to where I want it, which should be here, I think. Maybe. Gotta see where we're clipping when we come up. We're not. Excellent. Blue is good. Blue means it's saying we're not clipping, but I still don't like that very much, so I'm going to bring it a half over. That's where I want it. But I don't want to feed it there. That's a problem. I can't get a belt in there. What if we could go a little higher? It still gets in the way of the antenna, and that antenna goes pretty much to the ceiling. Okay, I think I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go skip that, and we're gonna take this out, and this out, and this out. This one we're gonna keep, and we're gonna put one here, going the same direction. So we'll use my old load balancing design for this, which is all from the outside. And I don't know if it's not going to let us put our splitters in on this one. But what I'll do is I'll then slide this out here to where the belt will clear, and then we'll just have the load balance from this center point. So we'll have it about there, so you can see that the belt's just going to clear the lifts. We'll still be on our platform, and we should still have enough room to feed a belt in from the outside. So we'll have one there, and then we'll have one here, and then we'll load balance out that, and then we'll load balance from the front on both of them. And the way we can do that, actually, and we can make this part of the blueprint too, because this is not that big of a deal. I think we can bring that out here. So I'll put one here, and then it's two nudges up for the second one. And that'll give us our two inputs. And they should be at the same level as the lifts. So what do you guys think of that? That looks okay for a start. That gives us 6. Let's go ahead and save that blueprint. That's about what we can do without a Mark III designer right now. A little bit more coffee. That's great. Okay. So this is going to be LB assembler 6. I'll put this in our cities directory. We're going to add it here. We're going to close that back off. Set our assembler icon like so. Don't worry about the color. And save blueprint. Great. We're all set. I'm just going to leave that there in case we need to make adjustments. And this may be our smallest city on the map, this little foundation city. I'm actually thinking that maybe what we'll do, instead of building vertically, is maybe we'll add a couple blocks to this. Oops, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. That could have been bad. That one will send us out there into a not nice place. Okay. You know, because having this, because we have some room to sprawl a little bit once we start taking things out. I mean, this 5-block city, and we still have our output rail yard, but that's just going to be one train station for the output. And you can see that we have our belts loaded up here. I love the look of this. This is great. We can see all of our stuff all loaded up, ready to go. Nice. What I ended up doing to get some iron ore in here early on is I just linked a belt off of this one, so we have a slow trickle of iron ore coming in. But already I think we got some things running over here still for screws, but for the most part, most of them have capped out already. Okay, first floor is smelters. Smelters. And that's our load balancer on this side. And we want this in our output. Oh, it's belted. So this is a mirror that we're doing on both sides. Okay, let's lock this in so we can nudge it into place. And I think that's where we want to be. That's our input there. That does not look like where we want to be on the output side. I think that's where we want to be. Let's double check our other smelter floors to see the gap there on the end. Yes, that looks to be correct. Okay, we'll go ahead and slap that in. Rotate it 180. Rinse and repeat. Lock it in. Nudge it into place. Do believe that is correct. Looks good. That's our input there. Okay. Oh, the other thing we can use to align is our power. And our power looks like it's on the beam correctly. Awesome. Alright, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, see, now we came out too far on this side. Not right. Let's reset this one. This is why working with blueprints is so nice. All that build, we just were like, oh, that wasn't quite right. And just whacked it, and we're putting it back in. If you make that mistake without a blueprint, it takes forever. And you may have seen me do it, because I have done it. Okay, yeah, I think that's where we want to be with that. Put that in. Now, I'm curious, because I don't know if you noticed, there's a bit of an air gap on the power post. I want to see, and I just noticed this as we were placing it, and so if I put one here, oh yeah, yeah, when you place it manually, there's a little bit of an air gap on the beam. Huh, interesting. Okay, good to know. And then we'll run power to everything as a last step after we put the elevator in, because that's how we're distributing power to the floors, is via the elevator. Which is nice, because then our elevator has a purpose other than just for getting from floor to floor. It actually acts as our power distribution tower and keeps it a little bit cleaner. Alright, we want our mergers in. And we gotta make sure we snap these to the ends of the belts. Like that. And we're going output to the other side. Come on. Find your snap. There it is. Alright. Seem to have found the sweet spot there. Well, that's good. Belt it up. Now, when you're speed building like this, occasionally you will find when you go to run something, you'll have missed a belt connection somewhere. And one way to make sure is just always check your status rods on the machines. Um, if they're red or yellow when you're expecting them to be green, or white. White is if they're overclocked. So like these are turning yellow. If I want to, I may want to look at that and see why are you yellow. Well, you're yellow because you've got no input. So if we put that in, it should go green. That's fine. Some, if for any reason the machine stops unexpectedly, it will be yellow once it's powered. If it's red, it could mean it doesn't have something it needs. It could be power. It could be um, it doesn't have a recipe. Like you miss a cut and paste on your recipes, or just forgot to set them. Like these are all red right now, and if we look, it's because they don't have a recipe. And we're gonna go iron. So now it's still red. Go back in, and it has no power. So until we have power, that's not going to go yellow. Once we power this now, it should go yellow, and it will be because it doesn't have any iron ore. Okay, all that being said, we're going to set all these recipes. And that's always a good indication, because sometimes if you miss a belt connection on the output, what will happen is the machine will continue to run until it runs out of space. And you have a stack of output waiting there. Um, and it can't send it anywhere, so all it can do is stop. So it'll go into a yellow state. That can also happen on the input. It could be in a yellow state because it's never getting input. Like if you miss a belt connection on your load balancer, because these are really tight, small belt connections, if you miss one or one of them isn't feeding right, you could get a yellow because it's not getting any resources. So just a couple ways of debugging your setups. Oh, where's my radio? I think we're ready for some music. There we go. Cool, our concrete edit worked. That's always nice. We totally could have put more constructors on a floor. I may have to make a constructor 8. The load balancing becomes a pain in the butt, but maybe I'll do that and I'll share it next time. What tape are we listening to? I don't even know. Oh, we're still on LaMichael. We need to switch that. We haven't listened to our new ones. Which is Sanctum and Sanctum 2. Let's see. I think. What do we need for screws? Or for. I think these will make into these. I guess we gotta figure out what recipe we're going to do. Huh. I don't know, but they're both the same. We need screws and plates. We can switch them out at the assembler if we're overloaded. Helps if I rotate it the right way. Came up with a really cool design idea for Electronic City. It's going to be a very difficult build. Probably not going to be able to blueprint too much of it, but it's gonna look awesome sitting out in the desert. I just realized something. This is going to be the first time we've actually got to logistically split from a different floor. Because the plates are going to go up, and we'll have to route those up to the floor above. So if this is plates, this will be screws, and if we do one more floor for the assemblers, I didn't think about this logistically. No, 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 that's not right. What? That was weird. Guess I went too fast for it. I think that's right. I wonder when they're going to do a new update for this. It's been a while. Oh, you know what? I think one's coming. I think I was reading on it. I think they're thinking about randomized nodes so that the nodes aren't always in the same place, which would be interesting because that also means that our critters spawns will be a little bit should be changed as well, because usually the nodes have protectors on them. That would be pretty cool. It would be cool if they randomize the sphere and the loop locations as well. Okay, so those are our 3 floors. So this floor has to come up to this floor. This floor has to come up to this floor. And this floor needs to feed this floor and this floor. Which means we need to split this belt at some point. Do it, and I think what we'll do, I'm gonna change this up a little bit. I'll take that out and this out. And I can leave that one. I think what I'm gonna do is do this. actually. And then if I put a splitter right on it, I should be able to manhole right there. Because it's going to have to come up through this floor. So if I throw... Did that line up? Nope. Missed it. This might be a little bit of trial and error to get this lined up just right. Oh, or I nail it. Like that. Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. And that actually should be connected. Then I come up from here to this floor, and to line that up, I just switch parts. That, and that should give us our input here. So we'll be slightly off center, but we can still load balance from the same point, because we're just doing our constructors on this floor. To make some screws. It's not locked into the right spot. I need to move that over. There we go. That should be centered both ways. Yeah, we're good. This kind of sounds like Blue Man Group. The music, that is. Not me. I don't sound like Blue Man Group, because I talk. Let's see. We want that. And then we're not perfectly symmetrical, but we're still clean. Now, if I did want it symmetrical, we could turn this to the right and then feed the belt into center. That would work too. We do need to reconnect this to that. Oh, you dumb bunny. Okay. Okay. We should be good there. Once we start feeding in resources, we may want to check this split and make sure. Well, we're going to want to make sure we're producing our rips out of this factory anyways, so that'll be good. Okay, now this leads us to our assembler floor. We can go ahead and place our assemblers on here. Let's see, where are we at center wise? Not centered. That's centered that way, and we should be centered this way. Yeah, we good. Oh yeah, we gotta figure out some logistics on this. Oh, I didn't put in my other lifts on the other side. So we have some extra work to do here that we could have saved ourselves. And because we gotta pipe in all of our logistics manually here. Yeah, see, this is really tight. I hope this is gonna work the way I want it to, and not overhang the edge. I don't want any overhangs. Oh, that's gonna be really close. Oh, it overhangs. Dang it. And I think even if we use a lift, it's gonna overhang. Yep. Shoot. Need to think here. How can we do this? I can come from the inside. Okay, I have a plan. We have enough room to do this. Bring this up to, oops. Yeah, no, that's right. Bring this up to, make sure those are level. Bring this up to, and then we can do two of the same load balancing technique here. One here. This points in to set up our hybrid belts. Hybrid balancer. Our balanced manifold, I think is what we were calling it. Oh, you know, no, that wouldn't. Well, kinda. We might be able to do a balanced manifold for the 8. I'd rather see if we can't get an 8 balancer. So yes, that does clip through the elevator there, but it's so hidden. I don't hate it. Or not the elevator, the lift. And then we can bring these out this way. This one will hit this one. And then we will have to... we're going to do something a little different with the splitters. Because I think what I want to do here is I'm going to use a lift here. And I think I want... that to come in from this side. That'll be our one input. If we bring our other input out here, I can lift it to the second level. And what happened to our music? Is it blank tape at the end of the side or something? Weird. Did it... Huh. Alright, well, what about the other one? Nothing? Our music broke. Well, that stinks. What's up with that? How do I... Oh, whip it. Well, bummer. Oh, is it... What if we go back to Lamichael? Will that one still work? Well, poo. Well, that's a little disappointing. I was enjoying the music. Alright, no more build montage, I guess. Huh. Anyway, I think that'll work. This load balancing will work for us. And, of course, I do need to get it set up on this side. Now, the way that we're doing this, we could also flip these to the inside and run the belts over through this gap here. And set it to the outside if we wanted to save some space on the outside. Like if we didn't want this feed belt, because it is right on the edge, we can turn the lifts around to face inside and feed that from the inside. I'll show that on this side since we've got to do these anyways. Because I may like that better anyway. And it'll fit on our blueprint if we do it that way. So that might be an advantage for us. First row goes here. So having it there, like that. And then we can put our splitter here, like that. And then when we do our belt, it comes in here, across the front like that. And keeps it tight and clean and gives us an outside. Yeah, I actually do like that better. And then for this, we're turning that inside. This turns inside. And then we just run our belt out. And that's our first input balanced that way. Yeah, that looks a lot cleaner than this, doesn't it? Okay. With that being a cleaner look, let's go ahead and do that now while we're building. Because if we don't do it now, we won't do it later. Because it'll be running and it'll be a pain in the butt to deal with all the stuff on the belts, and we're going to be like, well, it's working. Do we really feel like changing it? The answer will be no, we don't. At least my answer would be no, I don't. The only, in you know, part of it is how much little things bug you when you want a cleaner look. Like this kind of stuff bugs me. This isn't as bad. It's a bit of spaghetti, but then when I look over there, that mess, that drives me nuts now. In this rail system, it's just, the rail system has to go. Has to be fixed. Oh, that was a yawn. I need some coffee. All right, we're about an hour and a half in. I think we should be able to finish this city today. And then we can move on to our next city and our next design. Which I'll have to think about I think our next city is the Steel City, which I think is going over there. And that's actually a new build area for us, so um, we won't have other stuff in our way, so that one we should be able to hook right up without a problem. Let's see, 5. We want that one to come centered in, that one too, and then we'll do this side like that, and then this side like that. Okay, then this belt will come into here like that. Look how well that fits in there like that with that straight belt. I love it. I love that. And this works with this will work with all of our higher end machines, I believe. They all have kind of like this gap in front to where you can run a belt to the inside like that. At least the manufacturers do. Refineries are a different beast altogether. They're kind of like smelters. Refineries are, when we get to where we need refineries for things, we're gonna have to work some designs. They don't fit on floors well, so we may have to do like a uh, like a. We'll have to think about that when we get to refineries, because those city blocks are going to be different. We may have like a refinery block and then maybe feed that into a different part of the city. Kind of like you would have, like I'm in the Detroit area and we have refineries in South Detroit, and generally they're like these big areas where you have all the boiler towers um, uh, on the refinery, there, and then they have like lots of like industrial storage for the outputs from the refinery. So we may set something up like that to have like a refinery block that just does the refinery. We'll play with it when we get there. I don't think we're gonna need a refinery anytime soon. I think what will our power city out there, our fuel city will be when we do fuel city. That'll be that. Okay. Um, and just a reminder, if you want to vote on city names for this city, these are the ones that we're looking at: Red Crest, Iron Vale, or Ruston Heights. Um, I am, I will tell you, if, if I don't get any votes by the time uh, we finish the city, it's going to be Ruston Heights. Just because I like that one. That one's my favorite, Ruston Heights. That's exactly the kind of play on words I wanted for the city names. Da, 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 da. And then you'll get a chance to vote on the Steel City, which I haven't put in the suggestions yet for that one. When we get to it, I'll put the suggestions in and we'll vote on those. Okay, back to this. Our first output is plates, which is here. And we need to run this up. We can actually run this straight up. I'll take this lift out. Let's do that. Let's run this straight up. We'll go ahead and use our normal location. Actually, let's not. Let's run it parallel here. Centered. So this is kind of our gap that we want to keep. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Because that way, if we have to split things, we have enough room for a lift to hit a splitter, because that's what we did down below. So logistically speaking, we want to be 4 in between our manholes. Alright, that sets that one up. And this is going to be, yep, input like that. This one is output like that. Run that there to there. A to B, B to C. And this, we gotta go up another level. Come on, connect. Connect for me. There we go. And that is going to be there. And then we just line that up with that. And then throw in a belt. And we're good. Input is set for that one. We have not set our recipes for these two floors, did we? Did we set these to screws already? No. So we'll run the vanilla one first. And we are having it make its own screws right now, so that we're not tapping into our output from the Screw City block. Now, the other thing we could do, if we need to, we could split these blocks out into individual ones so that we're only making one item per, which is also a different tactic for a vertical expansion. Would be as we need more of one item, we would expand that block. So that's also a possibility. It's not what the AI recommended, but it is another pattern. If this pattern of having, one item per block doesn't work out for us. Okay, so the second item is our screws. And this one, we're coming in here, we've got the center taken up, so we're going to come over 4 and we're going to set it up this way. Oops, wrong item. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then line it up with this one. Oh, but I don't need the hole there. Oh, I could come up on this side if I wanted to. What do we want to do? Do we want to have that kind of shifty, or do we want it lined up? I think we want it lined up. I think that would look cool. So we'll go straight up from this one, and we'll bring it in over here. It should be 2, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So we bring that over to there, and we bring this, and what I'm going to do on this output is instead of keeping it straight, I'm going to kick it out to the side, like that. And I think that will make it look better. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I like it. Okay. Then we want this to come up to the same height as this plus 2. So 1, 2 from that. Then for positioning our splitter, we set it on top of this one, lock it in, and nudge it over. 1, 2, 3, 4 should be perfectly aligned. We've got our little dotted line showing that that is a correct statement. Click that into place, and we are off to the races. Then we don't have our second lift set up on that side. this will come over here. Look at that nice blue belt, meaning we're not clipping at all. And there we go. Now it does look like it's clipping there, but the moving items won't clip there or anything. So it's tight. It's definitely tight, but it looks cool. Um, Now, if that does bug you, you can always bring your lifts up to 3 clicks, like this one on the end came in, and that'll give you a little bit more vertical clearance on that. And you can still make everything work. This guy has to come down though, because he is not right. So you can play with the heights. On the assemblers, it's not a big deal. When we get to manufacturers where we've got 4 of them, things are going to get a lot tighter. Um, because we have 4 different inputs. The 3 inputs isn't too bad. We could still play with that a little bit, but when we're at 4, it's going to take every bit of our space on that. And I don't know if we're going to fit that on a 6x6 block. We may have to expand our city block for manufacturers, which is fine. I mean, this footprint actually worked on a 6x6, but our other cities it may not. May have bigger city blocks. You know, the more rural you get, the bigger the city blocks are. You know, a city block out in the country is usually a 1 mile square. So it's a square mile. So every square mile you'd have a road, and going east-west and north-south. And it's kind of how you always knew where you were out in the boonies, was by, okay, what roads am I at? One of them is a mile road, so I'm at like 8 Mile and you know Wheeler Road, and that intersection would kind of tell you, oh, okay, so I'm about 6 miles out from here, and 8 miles out from the main road. So, which our main the where it started counting on that one in the town I grew up in was like it was like the major business street, and it wasn't called like 1 Mile Road. It just didn't, it was a named road, and then as you went out from that, there was no 1 mile out, but there was a 2 mile, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was living out by 9 Mile at the time, so we were 9 miles out of the city. And actually, Detroit's set up the same way. So as you get away from city center, and so if you've ever heard of the movie 8 Mile with Eminem, that area is 8 miles out from city center. Um, and not every mile out has a name that matches to the mile, but 8 Mile does. There's a 9, 10, 11. Like once you hit like 8 Mile, there's definitely all those mile roads out there. Uh, Out in the part of the city that I live in, um, we have down to 5 Mile. I don't think, yeah, because there's no 4 Mile that I know of. 4, 3, 2, or 1. But at 5 Mile um, is where the cutoff is. I don't know, just a bit of trivia for you. All right. Since we're city planning, I thought I'd give the city planning speech there. It's fascinating stuff. I think how the old timers designed the cities for us. And then when you get into the inner city, you end up with like First, Second, Third Street. If you look at New York, like it's got you have the avenues that are running in one direction, and then you have the streets running the other direction. So avenues are, what is it, north south, or they run from uh, what side? What is on the Jersey side of the island? you know, towards Manhattan, through Manhattan, and so you from so in I believe it's from the east side it starts counting. So like you have like Fifth Avenue runs like along one side of Central Park, and then like Seventh Avenue I think is the other side of Central Park. I think that's right. You guys can fact check me on that. But it's all avenues running north south, and then the streets start counting from the south side of the island up. And so you have, you know, your 47th Street is like 47 streets up from the south end of the island up to like 100 and something streets on the north side. Uh, but that's kind of where you get like the, you know, the 7th and 47th, you know, 7th Avenue and 47th Street, um, kind of intersections. Just interesting tidbits. And not every city, not every. So New York is known to be like a very planned out city. Um, Boston, mm-mm, forget about it. Boston is not a planned city. It's a urban sprawl. It's just it is. They just put streets wherever they wanted, and you know, eventually connected them somehow. It is navigating Boston streets is a freaking nightmare. And I love Boston. Don't get me wrong, but I drove in Boston once. Never again. Never again will I do that. So I don't know if you saw what just happened there with this belt. So with the straight layout, depending on where you start your belt, will determine where it makes its turns. So when I went from the, oh, that's not the right spot at all. If you go from like the splitter out, you notice it went through my machines and then turned into the splitter. But if I run that from the splitter or my feed in to load balancer there, it it lined up with this and turned it right. So if you ever are like, why is my belt not turning right? You know, try running it from the other side, and you sometimes can get it to lay in the way you want it to. All right, I think we're all belted there. Did we put our recipes in? Oh, we're going with the oh, this is the vanilla one. We got to change our screw recipe. I grabbed the wrong recipe um, for that. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. I know you may have caught it and are yelling at me because I'm an idiot, but oh, I got a lot going on. So this, yeah, this is the iron rod recipe. We want this one that takes in the ingot. That one has to be that one. So we'll copy that and replace all these. Okay, that's now set correctly. That would have been a problem. Not a huge problem. It just we would have had to change it before any items went into the machines. Okay, and then we have our output from this one. And what were we doing with the top floor outputs? We were sending them down, down, down. Screws are coming out this way, going down. We're sending them over to the other side. Oh no, I'm sending them out from there. Okay, yeah, we can send them out and down. That's fine. Um, oh, I see why I did it that way. Okay, okay, yeah, that works. So here you can see how I did that. I brought that out, down around the elevator so that we're not clipping through the elevator. We are clipping through our beam, but you know, oh well. Got to commit a few sins here and there. and then bring that down and onto our output spline or output line. Output line, I like that better. Okay, let's put our elevator in before we do that, just so that we know we're around. And we need to put our roof in. You know what I could do? Nah, we'll just do it this way. 6. There we go. And then we'll come back 5 on this one. And then 6. And then 6. Since we're only doing foundations, it's not that bad to just lay those in manually. Let me just zoop them across and we're good. Okay, now we want to put in our elevator. Transport. Elevator. And we want it facing that way and bring it all the way up. Oh no! We ran out of silica. Crap. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Where can we get silica from? Over here, I think. No, no, no. We're gonna have to hypertube it. I do love how tall that added to our skyline. That's awesome. It's good, good, because I didn't want everything to be one dimension. We need to go over here and grab some silica there. We could grab it from over there. That's actually closer. Oh, we've got a hypertube set up either way. Whoa, let's get down there. Do 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 do. Got lots of silica going on here. And I think this is actually quartz crystal. Yep. And this is plastic. Okay. So we can grab, let's grab 2, 3. I don't remember how many stacks. Looks like 3 stacks can go in there. So we'll do 3 stacks in there. Okay. So that'll load up for us. Move back. It's nice that we have our little hypertube set up because that makes it pretty quick for us to get back and forth to these spots now. Definitely going to have a hypertube. I'm actually wondering if I need, I might be able, I don't know if I need to adjust that or not, because we'll have to see. This hypertube blueprint may be good enough for us to do city hopping with the distance of our cities. We'll have to see. I may do like a basically an extended one because every one of these segments in here will give us a little more distance. So like if our distance is a little short, we can add a segment. It's just that my design isn't super extendable. I could make it extendable by 2 though. Oh, I added one extra one on this one. I could add another one. Oh, anyway, sorry, sidetracked. Let's get back to finishing our block out because we are running out of time and we haven't done our station yet. and I want to get through this city. Elevator, we're almost done with this block. We just have to hook up to our splines, or our input and output conveyors, and run power to the floors, and we should be good to go. Okay, let's start with our input. We've got coming in here. We've already got it pretty much already set up. You know, I'm thinking we can probably just run this straight over based on that level instead of going back down to the floor. I think that looks about right. It's going to be close enough for us. Or perfect, you know, that's fine too. I don't mind perfect. Okay, that is feeding up. We should have, well, we're not going to see. We don't have power running to any of this. I do hear some of my machines still running back here though. So we still haven't pushed all of our... We're getting close though. It's backed up onto the belts. So these are just finishing off. Because the screw stack is 500, it takes a little bit longer for that to come in. Okay, that being said, that's our inputs. We just need to run our output back out to this line and we'll be ready to power it up and check it. Let's see, not this line, not this line, this line. Okay. If we want it to be on this line, we want, yeah, let's go with this manhole right here. That should get us around what we need. Input there, run the belt out, run the belt down. Ooh, that is right next door to that. But well spaced out. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. And then we can run this out and down the side of the building. Now, if we wanted to, we could run it down to the same floor, but we can make that adjustment later if we want. I think I came in quick like that to get this to line up. Pretty sure that's what we did. Bring this down to the next level of the belt that we want, which should be one click above, I think. So, run it. Nope. And we need to come out a little bit further because we're not quite lined up with the belt. Okay. I may have done this a little bit differently. Or could have done this a little bit differently. So we need to come all the way out to the very edge, which is tricky. That got it. Just bring it down. Oh yeah, that's much better lineup. Okay, and we want to be at this level here. We still may not be able to straight belt it because it's a tight. So if we change that to curve or default, that will line up. And we're good. Alright. We now have all of our things set up. We just need to run power to this bad boy. And the way we're going to do that is we'll go from this elevator output. Oh, did we already run? I already ran power to the center of this building. Perfect. I was ahead of schedule and didn't even realize it. Run that to our elevator, and I think we're going to go clean this up a little bit and run it down like this to a straight drop. Like that. Now our elevator has power, which means we can take our elevator. Oh, we got to put our floors in. We didn't put our floors in. Go floor here. Floor here. One floor here. Uh-oh. I'm out of modular frames. Luckily we have those like right here. So may need to build some more dimensional depots so that for our build materials, because we don't have enough. Again, we'll take 3 stacks in up. That. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I kind of like this city design thing. I don't think our next one's not going to be an open air design. I have an idea for what it should be. Da, 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 da. And that's interesting. Wonder if that's going to be an issue. Oh, there's our 2-hour mark. Oh, we may not get to the station, but I wanted to get to the station. Okay, floor's gonna go there. All right, yeah, it was nice to us. All right, so now we have power available on every level. We just need to hook it up. So we're gonna hook up this, and we should start hearing things kick into place. Yeah, it definitely kicked to life there. And that, by the time I get this connected, we might hear that kick on. Yep. Okay. And then this floor. Oh, we didn't finish wiring this floor up. So we gotta finish this up. This side done. This side. Come on. Done. There we go. And I already see screws coming up here. We did not wire this one up either. Let's see where we're going with this one. There. And to the middle, and from the middle to the elevator, and then from the machine to the beam, machine to beam. Back it up. Great. That should be everything. It is. And we should have some reinforced plates coming out here soon and lining up on the belt. That's all we need to verify. Just need one belt. One plate. Just one plate. In the meantime, we gotta think about our train for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars on this train. Now, and I think maybe for the sake of time, I think we will do that tomorrow. I wanted to get to it today, but I don't have everything prepared for that. Now that I think about it, because I do believe we're gonna want to have, yeah, for this will be we're gonna load up our first SIP train with this, which will be an 8-car train that has plate, rods, wires, cables, sheet, beam, pipe, and concrete on it. And we have done plate, rod. Oh, we're gonna have 2 stations on this output because we're gonna have our rips are gonna go to tier 2 mechanical, which will be a 6-car train. So, yeah, that's gonna be that. And I think we should have. Why don't we have any plates here yet? Did I forget to hook up something? Oh, I saw one go in. That should, maybe that was our first one. Okay, that was our first one. All right, good. We are producing our rips on there, and those are going to end up going to our second train station. So we're going to end up having 2 train stations. Our tier 1 structural basics train and then our tier 2 mechanical train are both going to come into this station and pick some things up from here. And we will set that up tomorrow on the morning coffee. We fixed some blueprints today. We ended up finishing off our final city block here with some of that, with the new designs, and hooked it all up and got it running. So now our city blocks are complete as far as what they're producing. There's a few design elements I need to go back and fix. I can do that offline, and so hopefully I'll be able to finish off some of this later today, so that tomorrow morning on the morning coffee we can finish the city off and call it done. I think we're going to do some warehousing over here possibly, so that we have some buffer um, available for our production rate, so that we can keep building out to a certain level and be loading up the train stations from those buffers. And then we will sink anything that is overflow from here and allow our trains just to run full cars until they're maxed out. Okay. Well, I took my final sip of coffee for the day. So did she. All right. Um, that's it for me then today. I want to thank all my watchers for watching and doing the cookie stuff you do on your side, subscribes, likes, whatever. And until next time, keep building.